Hi, I'm Alan Davis from Yokohama, Japan. This lesson is for Week 6 of Introduction to Music Production at Coursera.org. Today we'll be taking a quick look at the graphical interface of 4 different synthesizers. I'll highlight the locations of the oscillator, filter, amplifier, envelope, and LFO sections of each synthesizer. I've chosen to demonstrate subtractive synthesizers since that's what we've been looking at in the video lectures. I'm hosting these synths in Logic Pro 10, but the graphical interface should be identical in any host DAW. First, here's a look at Logic's Retro Synth. While Retro Synth includes 4 different types of synthesis, we're going to look at the analog view. In Retro Synth, you have 2 oscillators. The first oscillator has noise, sawtooth, and square wave settings. The square wave has adjustable pulse width. The second oscillator has triangle, sawtooth, and pulse width adjustable square wave shapes. To the right of the oscillators, we have the filter section with 8 filter types. Notice that in both the oscillator section and the filter section, there are dials that let you choose to control modulation with either the LFO or filter envelope. To the right of the filter section is the amp section, with controls for adjusting the amplitude of the sine wave and overall volume. The LFO section gives you 5 waveforms that can modulate the pulse width of the oscillators or the filter cutoff level. Alternatively, you can choose vibrato to modulate pitch of the oscillators. Finally, we have 2 standard ADSR envelopes, one to control the filter and one to control oscillator amplitude. Next, let's take a look at Native Instruments' Massive synthesizer. Massive is a wavetable synthesizer, which means rather than choosing the standard filter shapes like triangle, sawtooth, and square, you select from over 80 single-cycle waveforms. These waveforms include the standard saws, squares, triangles, and sines, but include a great many more unusual waveforms. The oscillator section includes 3 oscillators, each with a full complement of waveforms. It also includes a separate noise generator. The filter section gives you 2 filters, each with 12 filter settings. To the right of the filter section is the amp section that has pan and master volume controls. Massive has 4 assignable envelopes and 4 LFOs. Each of the modulation sources can be assigned to any controller by dragging and dropping the 4-way arrows into the little squares under each controller knob. Next, I'd like to consider the Logic ES1 synthesizer. Despite its stylized look, it is laid out in essentially the same form as the other synths we've looked at. First, in the oscillator section, you have a primary and a sub-oscillator. In the filter section, there are 4 low-pass filters with cutoff and resonance controls. On the far right is the amplifier section, which controls overall volume. The LFO can be set to modify a wide range of parameters, as can the ADSR envelope using the router matrix in the center. Finally, we'll take a look at the green matrix synth, which is an instrument within Native Instruments' reactor. Again, the layout is strikingly similar to what we've seen so far. The oscillator section gives us 3 oscillators with multiple waveforms. In the filter section, there are 2 multi-mode filters that can be run in series or parallel. The green matrix has 3 standard ADSR envelopes and 2 LFOs that can be freely assigned via the modulation matrix in the B view of the synth. 5 minutes doesn't really allow much time to consider 4 different synths, but hopefully seeing how the basic controls are laid out in these synths will help you understand the layout of your own instruments. Thanks for watching.